Hi, I'm Jason Brown, and you are watching Bridging the Divide. If you want to know what the show is about, you should go back to the first episode and watch the whole long intro. But it's about having two different sides of an opinion on subjects. We've got Joshua Nicholson here as our conservative, and Stacey Powells over here as our liberal. And we try to hopefully, in our discussion, civilly, ultimately come to a place where maybe we can see the difference in each other's viewpoints. Well, boy, do we have a host of subjects for today, don't we? We have three of them, but we're going to start off with something that is very current, and it is about Kevin Kiley talking about the redistricting and not wanting to redistrict while Texas wants to redistrict. And I was surprised, not getting political, but that Kevin Kiley did leave out the governor's comments in there that I believe, if I'm correct, Govenor Newsom doesn't want to redistrict as well unless Texas redistricts. So with that in mind, if I'm wrong, I'd love to know. But who wants to take it?
Ladies first.
Thanks, Josh. First of all, for those of you who don't know who Kevin Kiley is, he is our U.S. congressional representative for District 3, which includes Inyo, Mono County, Rockland, somewhere
El Dorado.
El Dorado County. It stretches. It stretches pretty far. What I find interesting about this is Kevin Kiley has been on a mission to bury Govenor Newsom at every turn. If you go onto any of his social media, he is anti-Govenor Newsom. He was very happy that bullet train got defunded. I think he wants to be governor, is my guess, but he has not been in Govenor Newsom's court at all. I was going to say,
go ahead.
With regards to the redistricting, Newsom said that if Texas is going to do this, we're going to do this too.
Right.
And there's other states that are doing the same thing. But because Kiley agrees that California should not be, the gerrymandering should not happen, he didn't, like you said, you found out that he didn't agree with Newsom in the public eye.
Correct.
So I find it really hypocritical that he is not agreeing with what Newsom said. Because I think that because in the past, if you look under any of his posts or any of his social media, even his website, he just slams Newsom upside down, backwards, and forwards.
So you feel that's why he left these comments out?
Yes.
Josh?
Well, I would say that Newsom invites that criticism himself. He does a pretty good job of being disliked and not respected and almost all decisions and whenever his mouth is moving. Now, setting that aside, as far as redistricting goes, from what I've read and just understanding at our time in 2020 was that this is stemming from a disastrous census from 2020 where there was underreporting, there's overreporting. This is across the United States, not just in California and Texas. Now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with redistricting mid-decade, because if I'm not mistaken, there's no real precedent for it. So it may even get shut down in the courts. Who knows? That's not for really me to speak to. But it's just another arrow in the quiver of politicians to either shake the tree, move things around, kind of get the agenda done.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, both sides have been guilty of this in the past. On the Democrats, when they were in office, they tried to change, and I can't quote right now off the top of my head, but change some of the rules in midstream in the game.
Yeah.
And it appears that this is what is happening on the Republican side, because if they do redistrict in Texas, they'll pick up more seats for the House. So.
And why do they want to do that? Why does Texas want to do that? And why isn't Governor Abbott saying anything about that? Because number 47 called Governor Abbott and said, I need 5 more seats.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. I mean, I don't know if that happened or not, but let's say it happened.
So, but you both would agree, I
Nothing
guess.
wrong with that.
I guess you both would agree on this, that
He made a phone call.
arrows.
There's nothing wrong with the president of the United States calling a governor saying, hey, you know, in 2026, we're not doing so well, so we may lose a bunch of seats. So I need you to redistrict and gerrymander your state to make sure that I don't lose any Republican representatives in 2026 in the midterm election. You don't think there's anything
Well, first,
wrong?
I want to be clear that I'm not sure if the phone call or what took place. I didn't read any of that. But if, hypothetically speaking, this did occur, if a president called a governor to gerrymander to get lines moved so he can get more seats, the governor can always say no. There's nothing wrong, I think, with. There's nothing illegal. I don't even think it's immoral. I don't see. I see these type of things happen on both sides of the aisle constantly. It doesn't matter if it's federal, state, or local level.
And that's what I was trying to say in the beginning. This just shows that both parties are guilty of these things at some point. But I think that both of you, if we could bridge the divide, would agree that even though we might have had a bad census, we are pretty much close to 2026. We should just wait until 2030 before redistricting.
And just let the elections
be what they are.
I would say, yeah, let the elections be what they are, because I think Democrats give every reason to lose seats. So just go off of that.
I see more arrows. Miss Powells.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Exactly.
Even if they don't always read everything about it. I, of course, don't agree with you. Because...
You don't agree with waiting for the
I don't agree with the Democrats giving every reason to lose their seats. Because without the libtards, as everybody likes to call us, do you think your wife would be able to have a credit card? Nope. Do you think women would have been able to buy their own house? Nope. There's a lot of things that happened because the liberals fought for them. And women having their own credit card is one of them.
But I think you're talking about RFK type Democrats, not 2025 Democrats, because the leaders, actually, I don't even know who the leaders are of the Democratic Party. That's actually been a discussion I've seen here and there. But the leaders seem to be just the loudest, most annoying ones that are in Congress right now, and not anyone that's moderate, calm-spirited, or able to have conversations like you and I are having right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do believe our senators are pretty loud, but one of our senators was thrown to the floor. Did you see that? We're getting off of gerrymandering.
We really are.
Because Alex Padilla was thrown to the floor and manhandled because the head of, what's her name with the long brown hair who thinks alligator Alcatraz is a good thing. She had her goons throw Alex Padilla onto the floor after he said he was a senator. So that's, again, let's talk about gerrymandering.
Well, hold on. You brought that up.
I did.
So I think Josh needs to be able to, are you familiar with what she's referring to?
I recall a video on Instagram.
Because I believe it was a closed meeting.
Yeah. I don't know the details.
I mean, I'm not trying to get political on it or anything, him being thrown to the ground, but I believe it was a closed meeting.
So from what I understand, he was identified after that he was addressed by either security or law enforcement, whoever was there.
Well, there's video saying that he was in there saying, I'm a U.S. Senator, I'm a U.S. Senator.
But he doesn't get to have access to all meetings everywhere just because he's a senator.
I don't have that information. I don't know if he wasn't allowed to go in there. Like you said, it was a closed meeting. I don't know what privileges U.S. senators have. If the head of Homeland Security, isn't she the head of Homeland, Kristi Noem, is that her name? I don't know what privileges they have.
Yeah.
So I can't talk to that.
But what does this have to do with the leadership of the Democratic Party? And that's what
that the leadership of the Democratic Party is being attacked. Is being attacked. So that's why a lot of people are getting loud and demanding equality for this country. and demand. I could go on the list, but I don't want to get off of. That's a whole other subject. Yeah.
Going into different things. So
Let's go to
are we
gerrymandering.
good with the gerrymandering?
Do you want to know why it's called gerrymandering?
I'd love to know.
The term dates to 1812 when Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry signed a bill redrawing state Senate districts to benefit the Democratic-Republican Party. Some thought an oddly shaped district looked like a salamander. A newspaper illustration dubbed it the gerrymander, a term that later came to describe any district drawn for political advantage.
So that's where we're at.
Would you agree that both parties do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've written the divide.
Right.
There we go.
Yes, I do agree that both parties do it. Which country is it that has created an entirely female political party now? Is it India?
Beats me,
One
man.
of those parties. And
I
I'm
barely
like,
keep up with my own country.
I think it's time. But that has nothing to do with gerrymandering.
But your party can't define a female, so how would you have an all-female?
Excuse me, can you repeat that, please? So we can hear that again loudly.
The Democrat Party can't define a female, so how would you have an all-female?
That was last week's.
Okay.
Okay.
Just when you said that, I just marked.
And it has nothing to do with Democrats, it's science, but that was last week.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.